Win more League. Pro Guides.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the highest win rates in League of Legends history. These are only win rates from Season 1 onward, and they only count if they lasted a full week. The thing is if a win rate is above 56%, it's a pretty clear indicator that the champion is pretty overpowered. With that being said, let's actually get straight into the video and take a look at some of these ridiculous numbers. Number 10, we have Ahri at a 57% win rate. She got a significant buff in patch 5.2, and then Ahri's power completely skyrocketed. And the reason for it is actually quite interesting. She was given a lot of utility and quality of life, which made landing her abilities a little bit easier. She quickly ended up dominating the champion pool, becoming a top tier pick and top tier ban for quite a while very quickly. Most interesting, however, is that it all happened when they removed her damage buff on her charm, but yet upped her utility. This is actually a very prime example that utility is a lot more powerful than raw damage. Now I know this can be argued, but just keep in mind that her charm buff was 25% of damage. A 25% nerf in all of her damage is a huge hit, so I'm pretty sure it was unexpected by Riot. Nerfed her damage by 25%, gave her some utility to make up for it, and then her win rate skyrocketed to 57%, becoming a prime pick. Man, that must have been crazy for the Riot balancing team over there. However, with that being said, next on our list we have Sejuani at 57.5%. Oh, good patch 5.5 when Cinderhulk was originally added into the game. Gotta love Cinderhulk. This was because she was a perfect champion originally. I mean, she struggled with clear, but besides that, she was a very powerful champion with a strong kit. What did Cinderhulk do then? Well, it fixed the fact that she couldn't really clear, and Cinderhulk just came and allowed her to clear a lot faster. Being the forerunner of the tank meta, her crowd control and utility made her outclass everyone else. She needed multiple nerfs to fix as it wasn't very easy on Riot. She completely dominated the games, she had tank, damage, utility, everything, especially that crowd control. She had very strong crowd control and very easy ganks, making her super strong. If you think Sejuani was scary, you should have seen Sivir on patch 3.3. She actually received a visual update and a small rework to her kit. However, this small rework had her win rate at a whopping 58%. This was because of the rework that buffed the hell out of her. This allowed her to shine through as a prime ADC. The thing about ADCs back then is there of course wasn't as many, and the utility side of them wasn't as primitive as they are now. Her spell shield and ult just made her dominate. She became a power pick, and after being out of the meta for a while, this patch of 3.3 really had her blasting back through. Her kit was just too well rounded, and her ultimate just made her way too reliable, especially as a team-based pick. Her ultimate would work, and everyone knows that her ultimate works with her team, and her spell shield works in defending herself way too well. Thing is that after this rework, even till today, she's still one of the best picks due to her power and reliability, even in the hands of a new player. The other things that made her not as strong weren't really direct nerfs, although she got some. It was more meta shifts and the fact that more champions were added into the game that created a little bit more counters. But after that rework altogether, she became a much stronger champion. Next up, we have everyone's favorite plant, Zarya, at a 58% win rate after the patch 1.0.0.143. She became a mage with super overtuned numbers, like ridiculously overtuned numbers. Her damage was stupid overpowered. Her crowd control also made her an issue in the mid lane as well as the support lane down at the bottom. Low cooldowns, high damage, crowd control, and low mana costs, as well as very high burst damage combos, made her a huge threat. She has seen one of the strongest releases in a game ever. Period. She was super overloaded, super powerful, super scary, and I mean, I hate Zarya now, so I'm really glad I wasn't facing her back in the good old days. Next we have Rumble. Now this one is my personal favorite because it has a weird story and goes to show how complex League of Legends really is. His win rate was at 58.5%, and it was on the same patch as Zarya 1.0.0.143. The thing is that it saw the introduction of this overpowered champion, Rumble, with a very high win rate. The thing is, nothing actually changed. It's not super clear why this win rate spiked. This is because nothing was given to him, no numbers were changed, but back then he definitely had a strong kit, very strong numbers, and a decent amount of utility. The biggest thing was actually probably the meta shift, and the way his kit worked allowed him to have high damage spikes and utility that worked really well with the meta shift. Now, out of nowhere, his win rate spiked and led to an eventual string of nerfs. I mean, poor Rumble, but it made sense. This lasted the entire rest of Season 3. Next up, we have a champion who was super powerful on release, and he goes by the name Xin Zhao at a 59% win rate. He is probably the second most powerful champion of all time and the most overpowered release ever. In Season 1, he came out and had absolutely insane numbers, insane utility, insane damage, and insane just about everything you could think of. He became a monster of a champion. I think what's truly crazy about it all is how he lasted like this for over 2 weeks and everyone had no idea what Riot was thinking. Everyone was at an agreement that he needed a hotfix patch, similar to what happened with LeBlanc. And the fact that he was left like this for 2 weeks was absolutely insane, and Riot definitely regretted it. I mean, he was just way too strong. He would walk into lane, point and click to jump on you, and burst you down, all while being a bruiser, so he had some tank to him. He was scary. I definitely still think he is scary, but that's besides the point. Next up, we have Warwick at 59.5%. In patch 4.20, the Great Devourer was added to the game. Now, this spiked Warwick's power like crazy, and even though he wasn't actually seen as too OP compared to the rest of the champions we have on this list, he was a byproduct of being just too easy to play. The thing is that being a little overpowered on a champion that's mechanically complex is just not as powerful as being a little overpowered on a champion that's very simple to play. Having that point and click ult, a very strong and high amount of damage, as well as self-sustain and being tanky, all while being super easy to play, had his win rate skyrocket like crazy. Third on our list, we have Rammus at 65.5%. And yes, the Rammus, the one that's a little bit of a troll pick for a long time. On patch 3.14, this was a huge byproduct similar to Warwick. He was actually only a little overpowered, but way too easy to play. With a point and click taunt that lasted 3 whole seconds on max level, it is no surprise why he dominated the game scene. OP ganks and teamfight picks would be created way too easily, as he would just walk up, taunt you, and completely ruin your day. His Powerball also got him into the fight or onto the gank way too fast. However, if you think Warwick and Rammus are crazy, Talon at 62% is something else. The update to Black Cleaver on patch 1.0.0.152 was ridiculous. He was super beneficial of stacking Black Cleaver, and he proved it by his win rate. At the time, his kit had a silence and way higher damage output, as well as crazy damn scaling. He was made a monster of a champion, just like many on this list, and was a byproduct of OP Black Cleaver. This is interesting because, unlike Warwick and Rammus, he is an assassin champion and just a little bit harder to play, which really goes to show how crazy OP he was. He wasn't a byproduct of being too easy to play. He was a byproduct of being ridiculously overpowered because of Black Cleaver, and that's just that. Finally on this list, we have Skarner at a 64% win rate. Patch 5.16, the Juggernaut update hit, and we all cried. Insanely powerful kit, very tanky, and absolutely crazy. I mean, instead of being a tanky support jungler, he had become a crazy carry jungler, but retained the crazy tankiness as well as the utility, the CC, the point and click ult, the attacks that slow, and completely destroyed the jungle without even breaking a sweat. He took everything that was needed to make the most overpowered champion, as he had high damage, high utility, and tankiness, as well as the point and click ultimate. You have to really understand how scary he was, and I think most of us do understand how scary he was, as it was only in Season 5 not very long ago. Anyways, that just about wraps up the video. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Which champion was the scariest for you guys? Did you guys have to face them during the live update? How scared were you, and how mad were you at your team when they didn't ban them? I can't wait to read all the great comments. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe for future content, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Pro Guides is the best and easiest way to learn how to master League of Legends quickly and effectively. Backed by the biggest names in League of Legends, whatever concept you're struggling with, we have a guide for it. After watching a guide, if you have any questions, you can use Genius, where a Master or Challenger Pro Guides player will immediately answer any question you have. Get to your dream rank today by signing up for Pro Guides. It's time to be part of our winning program.